and welcome. Right, now I have actually been into the XML. I've been busy talking to Gemini, trying to get to the bottom of this, and she changed the tune actually, but I've managed it in a way that I know, and I've reset the sunflower oil, which was like 85,000 litres. Now there is a known bug, but she sort of like forgot what it was called when I asked again. So I've just gone to the we've still got a little bit of sunflowers. So there is 2 or 3 bugs actually. I am right, and giants have known about it for a long time, but it's still not been fixed because they obviously can't find out what is causing the bug. It's only happens on PC and Mac. It's as simple as that. So let's untag, because I always tag it by mistake. And then it's got that annoying red blob. So it's 0029, 633,781. Well, yeah, we were going to do the... please tell me... I was going to say we should be about to harvest this huge field. Right, smashing. It looks good to me. But obviously not at 12 o'clock. No, Mr. Smith, I don't think any of us fancy doing that this sort of like early or late, depending on how you view it. Let's have a look what is in sales. Is there anything that's popped? Because it's very bad. Very bad. I've never seen anything like it. It's nothing like I've seen on any of the maps. So whether giants have changed. Something, let's go right the way through to about 8 o'clock. And see if anything pops. We have a sunhammer. Let's go through to late and see, do we lose that in that time or not? Right, let's have a look. Let's take a look. Is it still there? Not in there, it's not. Oh, so it is. Push off container. Ah, so this is interesting then. 30 cubic meter. Ah. Now that is an. I'm going to say this is what has put me off. The hook lifts. To be honest, they're a bit lackluster in comparison to FS22 and FS19. I'm not even bothered if I have them at present. Whereas if giants are sort of doing something a bit special, I mean, yeah, the thing I missed that used to be was a good manure spreader that had a reasonable. I'm not sure how we can lug that, but we'll have a go. Yeah, a decent fertilizer, and that's gone. And also, there's an 18-meter spread now. I just found it was just about acceptable. Not perfect, not by any stretch of the imagination, but the one in now is about 15 meters, and I'm like, oh, I'm not really bothered about that. It's just a bit too small, really, for me to sort of bother about. So can we go straight on with this? So we saw the hook lift actual lorry earlier. Yeah, we sort of had it on one of our adventures. Yeah, we did, but we got rid of it, and it even had a let's just try and put that down. Can we grab it at a side angle? You usually can. Yes. And with having this behind us, it should seriously mean we're alright. Yeah, so 30 cubic meters, and we can see it's not a very large container. So the giants are doing a BI Industries type thing where it's bigger on the inside, wink wink. Yeah, because that's nowhere near as big as the Flegel lorry, and that's a lot smaller than this. So it just goes to show that occasionally giants too do things, you know, like that's using planar physics, shall we say, like you'd see in Doctor Who, where it's bigger on the inside. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, still made a couple of grand. Definitely working. Right, so then, yeah, that is it. So we're not doing very well from that particular aspect of the game. It's taken an awful long time, but we're now back in business. So let's crack on. So we need. Did we take this header? No. I don't think we did. Can't imagine us. No, we left it there. I think this needs. Well, this needs a little bit of repairing. Didn't we repair? Oh, we can't have done. It can't have had taken that kind of damage just through sitting there. Not really. Not. I mean, it does take damage for sitting there, but not that much. It's usually a little tiny. Well, again, unless Giants have changed something, and then it is possible. I'm quite pleased with how we're doing now, and to be up that is good. But obviously, we do need to do animals. Is one of the biggest things. We could take the other header with us actually, and repair it also. You know, because the thing's right at the top, so we've got to pretty much pass right by our place, and it's not terribly wide. If we're sort of a little bit cautious on the road, we should be all right. I don't think we're quite wide enough to worry anybody. I mean, we would be very, very careful on the road with this header. It's still a little wide. But as long as we sort of pull off the... yes, I was quite pleased that there was a proper bug. So not an awful lot. That is an awful lot, but we would expect that. And so is that not too terrible, really. So, yeah, now we're fully repaired. Yeah, I'm very, very pleased with how well we've done. And we didn't cheat. We did not allow the cheatingness of this bug to actually make us richer than we should have been. We got rid of all the excess, so going forwards it looks like I've got to look for that. But there is a known bug, but what Gemini was telling me to look for didn't even exist in the career save game XML, so I think Giants may have moved it, which means that you can't squash the bug, you can only squash the resulting factor, which means it could happen again. Because I can't get to the variable that causes the actual bug. So I'm not sure whether we're going to see this again. This to me is sort of a game changer when there's the game has bugs that Giants know about but have had a year to sort of sort out but don't. Because I mean, I'm sure that I'm not the only person that feels very strongly about cheating, that it's not acceptable that all of a sudden you're rich because like you're doing far more of a production. You know, it's very nice if I had got like 89,000 litres of sunflower oil, it said. Now that's strange because we only had 18,000 litres odd of like sunflowers in to begin with. So that's sort of quite a... We're talking exponential as well. We're talking about a bug that causes, and it does apparently cause like double, and then obviously this glitch carries on glitching. So what I mean is it doesn't just end. Now then, if this is truly going to be a bit... Don't know how we're going to drop the trailer off. I think we'd have to drop it here. We can see our canola growing, and then a tractor I think can do the rest up there, and we'll set this going. And I feel a time lapse is probably in order. Yeah, this is going to take a while. It is definitely. So we need, I think, the 70 tonner as well. Oh, so I'm going to go into a time lapse because it's going to take a while. It really is. So I'm going to see you guys and gals on the other side. Now then, I'm going to come out for a minute, because I think what I'm going to do, this is the bit where I said I didn't mind injecting cash in, because we would be in real life using our equipment to drag soil, because this is the kind of change with this kind of bumpiness on the land that can cost you millions. So in real life, we've got the equipment, or could lease the equipment, and I wouldn't mind paying a reasonable amount for earth movers, and that's realistic, but the game doesn't cover that. So I don't mind stretching out a little bit in the interest of creativity for doing that kind of thing. So we'll just empty this out so that the worker's got a while between us getting another unload where we need to take over. Obviously, I was pressing delete and thinking, oh, why is Courseplay not popping? And I'm like, you Wally, you've not got Courseplay in, and you've not got it in at all. Yeah, I've got the additional game settings mod in, which brings the clock in, which I always find very useful. It gives you a reference point on the time that we're at and the date and all that type of stuff, whereas without that, it's just, well, it could be any time, any place, anywhere kind of sort of settings. So let's just open that up. And then we'll set this going where it likes, and then we will scoot over to the side. It will save as a baseline, although I think it'll probably do that itself. And of course, we've got to take over to empty because it's a standard worker. Yeah, they're not like Courseplay. I can't set that setting, which is severely missed. Yes, in my absolute favourites thing. So yeah, another bug that Giants have known about. Now, when I first started to talk to Gemini about this, it did give it a proper name. So it's like it is amazing with the AI. How sometimes it can tell you the right information, but it was still wrong. I mean, it was telling me things in the XML, and I said, look, I mean, I go in the XML files all the time, and what you're saying isn't there, you know. And it was oh, I'm glad that that's the case. So please try this. And I'm like, oh my life, Gordon Bennett. So I think let's visit that, and we need to sort of get yeah, towards field 5. Is there a way we can sneak? Yeah, like straight down someone's back alley and then lean over the escarpment, which is not ours, but the bit down the bottom is. Yeah, straight down here. All of this patch of land is actually ours. So yeah, not that we're going to like lay claim to this. The bit we're interested in is approaching us fast, and it is really umpy bumpy, and there's rocks everywhere. So this is the sort of thing that I did on JM Gaming's. Oh, can I inject? Oh, there's a point actually. Yeah, no, I don't think we can still inject cash. The only way we could do this is by grabbing the yeah, we could do that. It's true. What? Why are we? Yeah, so I've still got the additional settings on. Let's have a look at what that actually does do. Additional settings is this one. Yeah, we can change the colour, which we have done. Custom lighting, we haven't got that on. Crosshairs on. Player camera smoothness. Date, yeah, I've done that. So that is it. Yeah, that's all we've got on that. So there's no way. So the only other thing we can do is stick in generators the no, generators is down here. Is the government subsidy mod. So we will stick that down for a bit. I never understand how this works. I know it's time based and it gives you like extra sort of things. So this has be our to give us a bit of money back over the next few months. That's going to compensate for this, because this is going to cost us a bit. Let's do a save now, and let's fly up in the air. This has slowed down enormously. Yeah, good. You can see all of the... Now, we need it to be fairly level. And you can see there's monstrous hills over there. Now, we would level this a lot. And, like, sort of blanket that all the way across there. You can see here the harvester. It's quite be close. Oh, you're just going around the edge of the field, are you? Well, that's brilliant. Yeah, we're paying you to just wander around the field and you're not doing anything. So the level bit really that's best, and it would also take over these rocks, is from about here, and it'll like blanket this with an awful lot of earth and make probably this is the best. So let's try that, and it is going to cost us hundreds of thousands to do this kind of leveling, because we're talking serious, not only this but intensity. You want it to be at max for something this big, because otherwise it struggles to fill. So the level we want to be taking from is about here, and that should cover these stones pretty much like that. And you can see it really is covering them, and that's just cost us. It's cheaper than it used to be. That is one thing I am going to say. Yeah, this would have cost enough, and the intensity is important, because it's it's the slowness that I always find is terrible. So we just need to take a little bit more over here, because it is going to cost us a lot if we're not like quick about this. Right. Yeah, you see, that's the filling bit, that it doesn't fill very quickly. Come on then, are you going to fill that bit in or what? Gordon Bennett. Right, so then let's see if we could. You see, we're going to have to soften going in, so that's the patch that we got to work with. Now, is that big enough for us to do? I know I don't mind if we soften this. We can't, this has got to be done in stages, really. Now, I think we could only go for the little. So it would be here. Overlaps another object. That's going to cause us issues. So it's still reading the rocks underneath. Not if we put it in B mode, it's not. Yeah, we don't particularly care about that. But we do. It looks like that would be the place that we needed to go. But we would have to soften. If we put this down now, it will then demand that we do the fencing, and then that's going to be terrible. So we need to now that we know that would fit in, we need to soften a bit, and probably still a little bit more on here. But I think it's more about softening that. I don't think we're going to level, because it drops away. Having done this a lot, the entry point is going to be up where that light is. Is it a light? No, it's a radio tower. Yeah, so is going to be there. Do we do a little tiny bit more leveling? Does it reset the intensity? Yes, it does. Every single time you come out. It's which is a bit of a pain. So let's just try and bring that across. A little bit more. And fill that hole in. Right, that's not too terrible. Do we take that a little bit more? Right, I think that's going to be about as good as it gets. And the rest we now need to soften. Let's just save it as a baseline. Oh. I say, I did press the right button and it took me to the wrong screen. Yeah, I must have pressed the wrong button. How are we doing? It's hard to tell with that kind of feel. So a bit of soften. Again, intensity is going to need to be fairly decent. And quite a large catchment area on this side. Because this bit over here is the bit where we need to... I'd like to have quite a large... fence, sort of, and if it's like almost like a cliff face, it's not going to go down there very well with the fencing. I would normally have the fence where it ignores the badness as well, but we can't have that because it's another script-based mod that at present is not. So we need to soften this. It's almost like a cliff face, or it's not going to let us do it still might not. That is quite an escarpment basically, so let's just soften this a little. I think we're going to have to... Yeah, this looks like the entry point over there, and anything else is just... Yeah, because this is still going to be way too much like a mountain. But we've got to try and soften a little. I don't think we're coming down there. It's well too... Yeah. Might need to try to put this in the different, sort of like from this way, is what I'm thinking. I can't see that working. I've done a lot of this kind of work over the years where you do this. So I think it's going to have to be like that, and you can only be able to probably come out over one side. Yeah, I think the other end is not going to work. We should see if we might be able to make it work a little. We could. Yeah, I know that is true. I just had an idea. That would work. We might lose a bit of field, though, but it's true. No, what I was thinking would actually work. Because obviously we have gone high, so it's going to cost us a bit, though, but I am willing to do this. It's true. If we, like, level and come into here, we literally be over here, and then we can have a run down. I'd prefer to go that way. And we could sort of come over with the actual whole thing into the field, and then do a run down along the edge, and then it's not going to be too terrible. Do we need intensity for this? It's very slow if you don't, is my sort of point, but I suppose we can make do. Just, yeah, no, let's give it intensity. It just speeds the process up of how, because it's still the same tool. It's just to about there, I'd say. Yeah, no, that's not, so far not lost too much. Let's just try and level that so it is level. Alright. Now then, so we're going to try to do a run-up as we have before. That is going to sort of take the hedge out in a way. So now we need to change the brush size. I would say that's about right. So we want to set slope target point is there. And we're going to do a long run-up from about here. Because it's less severe. And then one from about here. Which eventually will just get a clip over the top of the hedge. Do we need to... Yeah, we're going to lose a bit of field. We said this, but I want the runoff to be realistic as if we're not going through the hedge. Because otherwise it's... I don't think that's too terrible. Not all things considered. We haven't lost an awful lot of land either. Let's just join that. That's making a change now, isn't it? Yeah, that's not too terrible. I'm happy with that. Is that... It doesn't seem wide enough for a... Yeah, this is the only bad thing. This is a bit like the level tool, isn't it? So we need to basically make the headland slightly wider than it actually... Is that actually filled? Let's have a quick look. Worker H, how are you doing? Oh, no, very little. Worker H has been wandering all over the field. So we want field 5. Wow, it's a bit buggy, that is, the way that it does that. Right, so we need to increase the size of the headland because it's tiny. If this is going to be where we're going to lose a little bit of field, I'm prepared for that. If it's going to mean the convenience of a place to get to this that's not going to be too terrible. So from here, it's about... No, I've done this before and it really is... Do we? No, I don't think we can... Do we do this or do we go from the bottom like we should do? Because we could leave a man down here. It's not really important, that particular aspect, because we can run down outside. Now, we can't take that big tree down because they're the trees that giants won't let you, but you can run down there. So that means we could run all the way down here and just do... So we could sort of stick everything just there and ignore that for now and maybe incorporate it later or maybe do a run-off. Yeah, okay, if we're going to do that, let's do another run-off. It's true, we could easily do that on this side. It doesn't cost too much. That size, we do want a bit of intensity though. So we want set slope target point is there. And we want to run a good runoff that's not too shabby. And I'd say at least 2 widths to make it a fairly... Why is that changing its mind on... Yeah, like height and everything. Some of these tools are a little bit iffy, the way that they like suddenly change. The leveling tool's the same. You don't let go of your fingers. Obviously, that we all know that's the real secret. Don't let go of your finger. Well, I'm not, but it still is almost like deciding it wants to try something else from a different bit. So now I need a bit of softening because that's not quite right. It's not far off. Just need to soften the edges a little. And this sort of takes away those weirdy, nasty looking bits. We had a bit of rock there as well, haven't we? So, does that look alright? Will that work? I think so. Yeah, I don't think that's too terrible. So then, now, 100 odd grand. That's not too terrible. If this was FS19, that would have cost us about $1.5 million, maybe 2 million easily. So I've got to be honest, FS25 giants have been an awful lot more lenient than they would have been on. So let's try back to this then, if we're doing it like that. Yeah, and it's not liking the rocks and that underneath. Yeah, this is why on JM Gaming's I was trying to cover on Rombos Road things underneath, but this isn't going to hurt because it doesn't really care about them in a way. It should be. That's not going to be too bad. Not sure about the dairy where that's going. Yeah, so which side do we start? Is this side? Okay, so yeah, we're going to need to... Oh no, it's the other side. I did think it was the other side. When it was, I thought oh, it's unusual to do that. Yeah, yeah, let's go down as much as we can. It's not collides with another item. That doesn't. All right, okay. Let's go as close, as wide as we possibly can. So that's about the edge of our land. Okay, well, only... Right, we go almost to the... Yeah, so that is about the limit of our land. Because it's going to put a meadow in this anyway, so... Ooh, okay, then... Yeah, we don't want it to be too... And then I think straight across now to the other green post. We do indeed want to plant a meadow. And that is that. It's a bit nasty, but I've seen... Yeah, the cows can go along that edge and that edge there. There's only the bit of the escarpment in the middle that's a little bit too severe. It's a shame there were no trees in it. I think it probably would let you, but it's cost us a lot already. We've got to put grass down and stuff like that to make it look, or a bit of concrete on that top and stuff like that. It's not too terrible. Could have done the runoff actually inside the field. It's a fairly big headland down there. I'm happy with running along there. That's not going to be too terrible. Right, so dairy. I'm not sure if this land here is ours. Or do we do the dairy? No, because I would like to do the dairy where it's right next door. So we might do it over that other bit of rock and just pull it out a little. Because I've made the mistake of usually putting it about here and it's too close then for loading and unloading. So let's go down and visit. In fact, while we're here, let's just have a quick look at how Worker H is doing. Because I'd imagine that they're actually getting a fairly full... Yeah, you'll do nicely. Let's go and empty this again. And then we'll set them going again. It should last a while whilst we carry on and get this sorted. Yeah, I'm pleased with our progress. This was the next step that I wanted, was animals fairly early. I mean, bearing in mind that it's taken us years of real time to get it. But I've got to be honest. in Farming Simulator, I think it would take a farm years. The problems, obviously the game speeds up real life aspects, but this has been fairly, what I would have thought would probably, if you've got 100 grand and you were buying and selling, doing a bit of Arthur Daily and you were buying and selling it, I mean, I think you'd get more items than we got. That's definitely true. So I don't know what's gone wrong with that feature, whether Giants have nerfed the feature or whether Kinlaig is quite buggy and is doing quite a lot of badness to things, because we've had a lot of issues. So if we just set you going, Mr. Worker. That's the point. Can normal workers unfold the... Yeah, they're quite happy to unfold. Right, so let's visit our cow barn. You know, I know there's a small one on the map. That's why I thought, no, I want the medium. It's a fairly big thing, and I've got additional tanks for like manure and that. Now, this is a unique one in so much as you sort of uses old school tech of it's using the manure that's built in, which Giants don't like anymore. But we had so many issues at the beginning that I had special tanks built, additional storage tanks, and I had a very, very severe pump fitted, and this pipe is about twice as thick as the normal one that you would see, so it can cope with liquids and solids. We did have some work done on that particular aspect of this, and that storage tank is now a double storage tank that you can see it's got manure and slurry in it. Yeah, so it's got additional storage that you can even see. I like to try my physics so that you can see what I've actually done, and that is it. So additional storage tanks, but it does show manure actually in the place. You know, as it shows that it's got it. It's not a grey line like you see frequently. So this has got built-in manure and slurry tanks, because I prefer old school. It works, whereas Giant's method hasn't worked particularly terribly well up to so far. Although it has been fairly stable, much more stable than FS25, where it was on off all the time. But it is, yeah, I'm not risking the mental pain that gets done by is it going to work, is it not? So it's going to work because I've like done the old school method of making it work. Right, so then, cows, how many can we have? 130, not too terrible. It's a smaller herd than I would have liked, but we've taken that entire pasture. I'm surprised at that. I'm surprised that's not a bit more. Yeah. I couldn't know. It's not, it really is, I would say, about that. Yeah, I truly think the game's not read it too wrong. It's quite a big field, but not that, you know, it's, if anything, it's a bit generous. I'd say probably... maybe 80 or something you could get in there. It's big, but not that big. So we'll go a bit tongue-in-cheek. It will work. So then we need... we're going to try the cow barn silo. I've not... Give me a chance to work on it a bit. We're just going to like do a buy point to represent a silo. Let's have a go. Yeah, I prefer that, if I'm honest. I think it's going to work. Oh, that's... No, I have got that in. I have. It's... I did do that. It's one of the things I did definitely put in, because I thought I'm going to need that. Now, I deliberately made these look like... So I've only got the old original one. And now, my other cow barn silo does something similar, but it does it a bit better. I've matched the concrete with that, but it's not a buy point like this, and so this would be sort of part of the furniture, this buy point. So I want it to like go there. That's it, sort of slightly offset a little. The door could still open just the right hand side, and it's only really for us. There is the other gate the other side, so let's have a look. We should be able to see on the left hand side it's a bit too close. And then obviously the metal bar. We probably would have to dismantle the metal bar and not use this. The other one on the other side, which you can see is still plainly usable, we would only use that side. Now this sort of thing does go on in sheds. It's no good pretending it doesn't. So, and there's also this one here, which also could be used in real life. So I don't feel that we've like destroyed it, but it sort of gives it... We can now like go down the side. It just come in a little. which is why I made a smaller one. But I might actually make a smaller one of these that sort of sits in. So it is built through the shed, which you could do that with a silo if you wished. You'd have to dismantle part of the thing. So I don't feel like I've done anything too terrible, but we can now like go down here. We'll use the 50 tonner. We're going to use a little one. We still haven't bought a little tractor, have we? We're going to buy a little tractor, as in order one. I've put a couple. Yeah, I keep bringing a couple of like things. That's actually not reasonable. We want to. Yeah, let's find used. That's not a little tractor. Seriously, it's not a little tractor. Well, what a small tractor. Now, I fell in love with the Antonio Carrera that we had earlier. But I think the Mac is the 98 horsepower. Oh, no, that is the 98 horsepower one as well. The Trax one, would that be a bit more powerful? So slightly, is it slower? No, not really. It's not. That's actually fast for a tractor one. So I think we'll try and find a used one of those. So are we waiting for the tractor, or are we going to like use one of our existing tractors temporarily? Oh, well, I think we've got to. Yeah, we can't. Yeah, I mean, again, this is another thing that I was saying. It really is very slow. It's terribly buggy. I've never seen anything like it. So who? No, that's the Quantum. Who can we? We could use the Fendt. No, oh, yeah, the Unimog. Yeah, no, that's fine. Thinking about it. Yeah. Because it's not got it's the weakest tractor we've actually got. We do need the. So this has been chosen by Giants then as the almost like the Unimog we've got in, as it's about the same sort of power, 240 you could go up to. Now I think I've actually put the Unimog, our Unimog that I'm used to as well. So do we go Unimog? No, we've already got this Unimog, haven't we now? I think I prefer the other Unimog. It wouldn't struggle with a hill like that. Gordon Bennett. This is a Mercedes-Benz, for heaven's sake. Yes, so I might actually mod one of the new Mercs, and because I've always wanted, could I do that? Or do I just alter the little Unimog and make it into a bigger engine, steal the engine from one of the bigger? Maybe, we'll see. Yes, because Giants have not put a rear 3-point link on that one, like they have on this one, whereas this has got front and back, and they're both big, proper 3-point links. Like they're not size constrained like most vehicles, which is what I recognised about the Unimog, was it really could be one of the most ferocious tractors if it was bigger. Well, of course, the bigger engined one is bigger, but it's not allowed to have the front 3-point link. No, the rear 3-point link, which would make it terribly like a tractor, like this one is, but it's just a bit weak. I think Giants have probably done that on purpose, but to be honest, I think... Oh, this is the nasty bit in here. Oh. My bad. Oh, yeah, true, we don't need to go too monstrous with the herd. And this is sort of going to be marooned up here as our vehicle, so we're going to need... We really need a tractor, though, with with a front loader attacher if it's going to be a single... Or maybe even go for Black Sheep Modding's little one as our weapon of choice over this side, perhaps. Maybe we could order one of those. That would be... This just fits nicely under, I mean, literally by the skin of its teeth. And it should easily sort of manage this. So let's grab some... let's do the TMR first. And we will, while this is... filling, let's do a bit of grassing while this is busy, and a bit of so let's go. We need a bit of like, that didn't do a very good job of like making a line, so let's stick to the very good, does it, at the minute, without any grass in the middle? No, let's do a bit of grass as well. Might need to do this in stages, because it is sort of going to cost us a bit, I'd say, to do this. Yeah, scrap. Okay, I need a steady hand for this, so you're not stealing away all of the... Why is that refusing to move over there? It's not too terrible. Let's do the bank. And grass the same. And this also. Do we do that as if it was a rocky escarpment? Make that into a bit. I'd like to. I think it just adds a bit of character. We might be working in that area, so we'll leave that for now. It's true. Let's do a bit more rocky escarpment type, which is usually, yeah, this here, the rock. Let's do that. So let's go like that. Oh, it's a bit too severe. Right, a bit of grass at the top, as it would actually grow like that. And a little bit along here like that. As if it was always like that. Only we know that it wasn't. But I mean, yeah, it's not the end of the world, is it? So, rocky outcropping. And now we need a bit of grey down here. Or do we let this one be a little bit like a bit of a grassy one? Just a natural, more of a, you know, a way that's been... Yeah, well, that's true. If we're trying to say the escarpment was always there, it really probably isn't a bad idea. Just grow grass like that. And then we'll probably do something with this, because I'd like the dairy there. Let's just do a little tiny bit of grass going along the side of the top, so it doesn't look silly. Yeah, I always find these are the things I used to miss when I first started creating content, that, like, I always think finishing touches are very important, and it does, your eye catches it far more than you think, which is something I realised in time that I needed to improve on this, really. So let's just, that's like that, and then the rest, I think we'll do some concreting. Let's dump the total extraction. Oh yeah, at least the additional engine settings, the additional game settings is also the one that I use. There was an engine starter mod, but I use this because it does this as well. So you just accelerate and it literally... yeah, of course I'm looking for the fill and it won't do that. I think, I can't remember the storage limit on this, it's quite good. Yeah, I think it's about 200 odd. So I think we can easily cope with another full amount of that. Yeah, easily. I think it might be more than you think. Yeah, at least one more, and then we'll do the rest over time. That's not too terrible, that escarpment. No, I'm quite pleased. I do like to make it... Ooh, okay. See, we've done a very good job in that few minutes that we've just been doing that. Let's go and have a look and see whereabouts you are. You're not too far away. Right, you're not going to take long. So this is, I like it when you get a session like this where the workers are busy doing this and you're busy like doing, you know, like building buildings and stuff like that. That's really the farm. I like this, and this is the thing I love about starting from scratch. It's the making a farm into a farm, even if it's, yeah, it's not always in the same exact place or anything like that, but it's got a very good unload rate. As you can see, the pumps in this have been retrofitted. They're not, it looks a little bit like a Massey. Well, it did start off similarly, but it's augmented in a lot of ways. It's a BI. Yeah, we all know it was a massive. Yeah, there's no denying this fact. Right, so if we unfold, like just start it on the it'll this is the sort of thing that's a bit weird about normal workers, right? If I, you know, if I drop this and start it on the up, it'll decide that it doesn't like that. Well, you watch it, make a liar of me now, 'cause now I've said it. Yeah, so I'm starting on this up, and if I press the B key now, let's see what happens. Right, okay, he thought about it. No, he's happy. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, it often decides it's going to veer off, but I'm quite happy with that. So let's do some straw. Yeah, I sort of tried to do the bipoint as a little silo because they are like this in real life. Yeah, as in little tiny tubes like this. I've seen them on I pass a farm every day, and that's sort of like where I see an English farm similar to this with buildings. Not sure if it's got cows, but it's got like storage tubes right the way next to, like, silver ones right next to the shed. It's got 5 or 6 of them, so it's a common type of like things. So this, I chose this to represent as buying in straw and that, and usually only use it for straw and TMR as if it is a storage bin in the shed. Yeah, it's the way that I normally do it. I think we can coat with 2 and a bit, or did I change this? Did I augment it? I can't remember if I changed the storage amount. I think the straw was less. Yeah, I think it's about, let's have a look when this is finished. Yeah, I think I'm right. It's not a full 50 odd tons, or is it? Well, it doesn't matter. We can like offset. We'll do a full one, and then the TMR's not going to run. No, we won't do a full. Let's do about 30 odd tons and see how close we are to full. And that's done. Ooh, very close to being filled. Right. I didn't want to, because we're going to need TMR more than anything. So let's buy some animals, shall we? We're going to go like half, do 70 odd. Yeah, let's do something like that. So this is somewhere around here. Now remember, it's not going to pop. Yeah, we need to do that ourselves. We might buy a meadow as well. I'm intrigued in doing the Highland cattle, but obviously these are not, yeah, they're bred for profit and can be sold. Yeah, they do not do milk. They're not a milker. So I'm going to go water buffalo, my absolute favourites. And we are going to choose, yeah, let's do the cycling wheel mouse, the middle mouse button. It seems to me the fastest way of doing this. So, being as I like the number, let's go 77. Right, by 98,107, as close to 100 grand as possible. Yes, please. Brilliant. Oh. Now, I've been trying to tweak my dairies, because dairies are terrible. And they mathematically make no sense at all. These cycles are insane to make it do very little. And I'm tweaking it at the minute because I've never ever seen a dairy that's ever been good in the game. Even the only time it ever got good was when you had the upgrade factory mod and you needed to take it to like a level 11 or something. And it was getting really expensive to upgrade by that time. But it was only when it was about level 11, which is stupendous increase, really, to make it become reasonable, or it could cope with a fairly big herd, and that to me was just ridiculous. So my super now is, we're sort of just about getting there, I think. So let's have a look. If we put it, this is going to probably take quite a bit. I would say here, if it's our land. I think it is. Let's do a level. We need a bit of intensity too, and a bit more. Yeah, that's probably not bad. And then what I'm trying to do is cover this area here. Oh, I think you just about destroyed your run thing. That was oh, it was just being slow. Yeah, it has sort of partially destroyed the top of that. Let's level that off now. Watch your escarpment. That's the only thing I'm going to say. Bit of softening down here. Just to like tie that in. So I'd say it should go on that top quite nicely. Are we going to go? Yeah, we're going to go super, because I've got to be honest. Are we going to do a super dairy, or are we going to... No, I think we'll stick to traditional. We'll just do a dairy, I reckon. I know what I mean. I've got the multifabricate, but we've not got the additional straw mod on, and it deals with that type of thing as well. It deals with a lot, but we've already partially done that with what we've done with the grapes and oils. So if I was going to do the multifabricate that does a lot, then I should have done it a different way. So we've like gone into small things. We'll have to bring that in on another Let's Play. Yeah, I'm wanting to test it quite a lot. Extreme, super, enhanced dairy, bionic, super dairy. Now is this the what? Yeah, no, it is. It's my super. Yeah, I think I've only got the one now, haven't I? Oh no, no, this is all the same set though. I've got small ones that literally, as you can see, are small. But that's wrong. It shouldn't be 17,000. No, that should be the bionic should be there. Yeah, I'm not much around my prices properly. Yeah, that was got them wrong. So we want a super dairy, a standard size one, and it's still not like in the... I think it'd be alright though if we do that in B mode. Yeah, I can live with that. The only thing that is a bit bad is I don't want to be seeing that plants dropping through, like, yeah, the hedge top. Is that going to be... Might need... We think we've lost the chevrons on that right hand side. We could need to... A little bit... Oh, it is only little as well. It's not going to be too terrible. Yeah, I've seen a lot worse. So let's just take that level out a little tiny bit more. So to reclaim a bit of land. And I don't think that's too terrible a thing. Right, excellent. Right, so then a bit of concrete now I think we need to going on. We're going to do something nice. I've got to be honest, this is another lackluster bit of Giants that I've always found. Unlike certain modders, they don't give you a very good amount of stuff to go on. There's not an awful lot of choice. Do the darker gravel? Yeah, whereas some mappers give you like lots and lots of stuff. And of course there are actual mods where you can do this now, but I can't put them in because Kinlaig is a buggy and it won't allow a lot of things in. I've never seen a map like it, to be honest, where it's stopping an awful lot of stuff that I've never seen any other map block. Yeah, I've never known anything to block things like tractors and stuff like that, but if I put too much in, it just has a meltdown, so... I'll be careful not to go into the meadow itself. Yeah, this is so sluggish now. It really is very, very sluggish. To turn around, it used to be really nice and responsive. Another thing that Giants have nerfed for some unknown reason to themselves. That detracts. They just... Yeah. Yeah, let's just gravel that. No, not all of it. Just like a bit like there. And then if we're using gravel, let's gravel the other side as well. Yeah, to the top of that. I think this is one thing I do like, and that is where you can go underneath vehicles. FS19 and 22, you couldn't do that. Wouldn't let you do it. Yeah. What 22? 19's definitely true. I'm not sure about 22. Yeah, we might be talking nonsense with 22. Right, so a bit of grass in the middle. And I think we're not going to be too far off, actually. Yeah, I think the worker's going to be fine, I would say. Yeah, now, the one thing I'm going to say, I've said about this a long time, there was refraction. So where you saw your pointer wasn't where it drew it. Now, this is drawing pretty much where my cursor's going. Yeah, a long time. You'd got no control. The game seemed to like do its own thing, where it would literally like put it where it liked, and it was not exactly where your cursor was. Now this is almost spot on with where my cursor is, which I like that. Let's just do a little time in there. I think our work is finished. I think it just said. So yeah, no, that I'm happy with that. So this is welcome to our cow barn. The cows are fed and it's automatically watered. We've got a dairy in and we're down to 303,000. Not too terrible though, all things considered. So yeah, I'm pleased. We are making progress. And our worker has finished. Fantastic. Perfect timing. Yeah, so cows are in and we've gone for water buffaloes. I say I might do a pasture as well. Let's fold that away. And let's do that, and let's see how much we actually did. So, again, I've reset the sunflowers. Well, no, I've left the sunflowers. I got rid of all the excess oil, destroyed the setting in the XML because I wasn't having that. I don't want any kind of cheating. I want to do this by legitimate means. And it always seems to me that I get this bug. I mean, I'm not the only one, I might add. Yeah, it's only the one good thing is you console players, you sometimes think you're that second-class citizens. Well, you're protected from this type of thing because you don't have XML files the same. You have proprietary files. Well, this protects you from this bug, which is I'm really happy that you win on this and don't lose. So you'll never see this problem that we're seeing on PC and Mac, where things. Yeah, bad things happen. So yeah, you are definitely protected, which is a brilliant thing. Let's just take that, stick it in the. So how well did we do? It does this 33,655 litres of sunflowers. That's not bad because we all know. I've got to be honest. That's a big field of sunflowers. I'm pleased with that. So we're going to make quite a lot of oil, which. Both of our products have really earned us very, very well in this year. It is, even though I sold a bit late, because we sold to our place, it's afforded our animals this year. That's what I'm sort of saying. I would imagine that's fairly realistic. I would imagine it's difficult for a farmer to exponentially with the growth we see on Farming Simulator is. I mean, obviously, I am on hard economy, but we sell our own gear, which means we've got a farm shop. Well, it's more like a farm store on the side of the road, and it keeps my wife very busy overlooking that. Yeah. Ooh, are we trying to climb rocks now? It's not a good idea. It's not really. Even with super tracks, it's not particularly built for that kind of rock climbing. Let's try that again, shall we? Because if this can't do this, then something's seriously wrong. When you consider it's 700 horsepower, and it's struggling with a 33,000 litre. And this is what I'm saying. I try not to moan, but Gordon Bennett, it's a 700 horsepower. It's one of the biggest tractors in the world, with an engine that could pull pretty much anything, and it's struggling with the 33,000 litre. Yeah, it's a bit pants, isn't it, really? And this is the nerfing of horsepower that we had very, very early on. It was quite nice, and then Giants just nerfed it for whatever reason. Right, grapes and oils. And let's make sure that is on. So they're all not happy, obviously, because their health is always bad. So we all know this. The super grapes and oils, we still have the sunflower oil on. Right, we want this not distributing now. We want it on storing. So we've got 33,643 litres. So it did Oh, I thought we hadn't. Yeah. So we need this time to be looking at the. Now, is this sell down as well? Because I really have changed this. I feel like I need to make a. Oh, of course, 125,000 litres straw is inside the. Yeah, I was going to say, why is that showing that? So let's have a look and see. Is it dropping down now, the olive oil, to match? Yeah, I've done grape juice as well. You know, we saw that the grapes were worth more than or about the same, but it actually seemed to be worth more. And again, I've altered the grapes. That they shouldn't be like that anymore. I don't understand how. I wonder if the only thing that makes any sense is when you place your thing, it takes a snapshot of the like production things as you placed it, and it keeps it at that. But it's not supposed to work like that. It's supposed to, if you change a model, it's supposed to reflect in here. But it's almost like the prices of this were like set right in the beginning. Yeah, that's not too far off. And you know, the olive oil was all right. It's the olives that are ridiculously high, and they're still selling the ridiculously high. We saw this. We sold one set, and it really was like, God, we're not going to do that because obviously it shouldn't be like that. So that was just a test to see, is it as it should be? And it really isn't. So we're not ever going to sell that because it shouldn't be like that. And I have altered the price. It's just not at the minute reflecting what I've done. So we're not going to cheat. I'm not having it. No. So that is it. A good cracking session. We've literally done our... we're going to set a... Well, strangely enough, the print-off is probably the most powerful and also the best turner we've got. It's not the print-off show, I realise, but it is probably the best tractor for the job. Where did we leave the plough? We'll set this going with a standard worker. Yeah, don't miss your turn. It should be, yeah, it is down here. Still catching something, a bit of rock that leans over, or maybe it's the print. No, there is a bit of rock on the left. So let's set this going. And our canola, we'll check the canola is growing out. I need to also do my little shed. This one's all right. The wood is all good, but the other one is horrible. Yeah, we need to do that. Set this going in there with the traditional worker. Well, actually, I'm saying that like we've got a choice. We haven't. There's no Courseplay. I may try to bring Courseplay in. I can't see Courseplay tripping anything, but you never know. So I at the beginning where you're testing which mods are doing what, I think it's advisable to like come in with minimal, which we did, and bit by bit we're getting all the mods to sort of work. So let's set you going. And let's grab the harvester off as well. Let's be really thorough. That's what I'm saying. And I hope that the print-off is not going to be gunning through us straight away. Yeah, we'll stick this in the little shed because it's something that's not going to take up space a lot. Yeah, I apologise in advance for it. It does look horrible. Yeah, it's when the graphics... It's all to do with compression. It's certain ones it does this, and it is just that is all it is. The graphics file itself is actually pretty, but because you choose the wrong compression, it does a horrible thing and it makes it look like it's moving. It's all to do with the compression algorithm. For some reason, I chose the wrong one. I did have a nasty habit of this a while back, and then I stopped. I like the way the billboards change. It is, yeah, Giants, they do know how to do some really quite snazzy things. Just a shame that they let us suffer for so long. Yeah, so please don't look at the moving stones. They're not quite right either. They don't do the graphics justice, but that could be just the... Fantastic. Can we get... Yeah, plenty of room for us to get out. Yeah, they aren't... It's just over. It is literally going over the top of it. It was quite fortunate. Oh, it's not moving. Huh, that's a bit odd. It's not. And it doesn't change, so I don't understand why it was moving when we placed it and now it's not. Because, yeah, the movement thing is down to the graphics file, and I thought I'd done it the same, so why did it move then? That's not moving now. Yeah, this is not quite the right scale for this. It looks a bit horrible because the stones are too big. Whereas that one's about right now. That's bringing the punchiness of those rocks out as exactly as it should do. So that's not too terrible. Did I do a normal? I think I did a normal on that as well. It's a fairly flat normal though. So yeah, it doesn't punch the rocks out properly. I might have another go at that. But yeah, that's where I'm going to leave it. So not bad. Not bad at all. And we're coming on. Still got enough cash to hang around and buy things, which is obviously... Well, I wouldn't say it's the major. It has brought in... what are they looking at? The spider. And the cat. The Halloween-y type things. I don't know if it's that interesting. Are they looking at this, the billboard, maybe? Or our equipment? I don't know. No idea. Right, so I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to leave that to worker, so that worker should start again. They're doing a cracking job already of around the field. Yeah, so all that remains to be said is thank you very much for watching. Truly do hope you're going to stick with me on this journey. And I'm going to say goodbye for now.